Eddie Murphy was born on April 3, 1961, in Brooklyn, New York, into a working-class family that balanced love and struggle. His father, Charles Edward Murphy, was a New York City traffic officer who also dabbled in comedy, unknowingly planting the seeds of Eddie's future. When Eddie was 8, his father passed away, leaving a quiet gap in his childhood that would influence him for years. The loss was more than sadness. It was a formative absence, a reminder that life could change suddenly and irrevocably, shaping the way Eddie would navigate relationships, challenges, and his own ambitions. Separation and early lessons. After his father's passing, Eddie's mother, Lillian, faced health challenges that required her attention and time, leaving Eddie and his older brother Charlie to find their own footing for a period. Eddie spent part of this time in new environments that were unfamiliar, learning early how to adapt and remain resilient. Humor became his instinctive response, a quiet way to lift himself and those around him through moments of uncertainty. It was in this period that he realized laughter was not just entertainment, it was a lifeline. Discovering humor as a gift. Even as a young boy, Eddie found that imitating voices, cartoons, and people around him brought a sense of relief and control. Making his brother laugh became both a comfort and a way to create connection. He learned that joy could exist even in difficult moments, and that the ability to bring it to others was a gift. Humor in Eddie's life became a tool for survival, a skill that would evolve into a career and eventually into a form of influence that millions would celebrate. Family reunited, childhood shaped. When his mother recovered and remarried, the family moved to Long Island, providing Eddie with more stability and a modest home. While these changes offered comfort, the lessons from his earlier years lingered quietly. Childhood experiences do not fade with improved circumstances. They become part of one's inner architecture, shaping perspective, empathy, and determination. Eddie carried these lessons into every aspect of his life, quietly informing both his personal and professional journey. The class clown, with a dream school, became Eddie's first stage. He was known for his uncanny ability to make classmates and teachers laugh, often through impressions and comedic timing. While others saw a class clown, Eddie saw opportunity. He knew early that his talent could open doors, and his performances became a rehearsal for the stage, a preparation for a life where laughter would not just amuse, but inspire. Humor allowed him to express what he could not yet put into words, while also giving him a sense of control in a world that sometimes felt unpredictable. First steps onto the stage. Eddie's first performances were in community centers and small clubs, where the audience was limited, the pay modest, and the lights harsh. At 15, stepping onto a stage was both terrifying and exhilarating. With each laugh, clarity replaced fear. This was where he belonged, and he pursued it with dedication, often traveling across New York for performances while keeping up with schoolwork. Each show honed his instincts, timing, and connection with audiences, building a foundation for the monumental career that lay ahead. Persistence in a challenging industry. Breaking into comedy required more than talent. It required endurance. Eddie faced rejection and skepticism, yet each experience reinforced his determination. He learned early that success would not be handed to him, that opportunities were earned through persistence, practice, and authenticity. Comedy clubs became classrooms, audiences became teachers, and each performance was a lesson in observation, timing, and connection. Slowly, recognition followed as his unique voice and presence became impossible to ignore. The SNL breakthrough. Eddie's audition for Saturday Night Live marked a turning point. Hired in a limited role as a teenager, he used every moment on screen to leave a lasting impression. His characters, playful, bold, and socially observant, resonated with audiences immediately. He revitalized the show, becoming a central figure whose presence shaped its direction and influence. Fame arrived quickly, and with it, new challenges and expectations. Eddie learned that public adoration, while exhilarating, came with responsibilities he had not yet imagined. Love, family, and public image. Eddie married Nicole Mitchell in the early 1990s, building a family of 5 children. Fatherhood became a central source of pride and fulfillment, and his devotion softened the edges of his public persona. Yet family life and fame do not always move in tandem. Navigating parenthood, relationships, and public perception required care and attention, and Eddie learned to balance these responsibilities while maintaining authenticity. The joy he found in his children became a grounding force, a reminder of what mattered most beyond the stage. Relationships under a microscope. After his marriage ended, Eddie's personal life became increasingly visible to the public. Private moments unfolded under scrutiny, and his decisions were often misinterpreted. Through this, he learned the importance of protecting his inner life, choosing carefully when and how to share it. Romantic stability proved elusive at times, but the lessons from these experiences reinforced resilience, patience, and the value of prioritizing those he loved most. Loss within the family. In 2017, Eddie experienced the loss of his brother, Charlie Murphy, a lifelong partner in creativity and understanding. Charlie's passing was a reminder that even those closest to us may not be permanent, and that love and grief coexist quietly. Eddie honored this connection, naming his son in tribute and carrying forward memories that shaped both his personal and creative life. Loss, while painful, became a reflection of love remembered and celebrated, not only mourned. Career reflection and evolution. As the entertainment industry evolved, Eddie faced periods of professional uncertainty. Some projects did not resonate as intended, and critical scrutiny intensified. He gradually learned that stepping back was not retreat, but self-preservation. Choosing privacy allowed him to focus on meaningful projects, family, and personal fulfillment. This phase of his career emphasized intention over visibility, reflecting maturity and a deeper understanding of balance and purpose. Choosing privacy over noise. Eddie's absence from screens for certain periods led to speculation, but his decisions were guided by personal priorities. Rather than chasing attention, he sought moments of quiet, connection, and authenticity. Fame no longer defined his worth. Instead, he focused on being present with his family and rediscovering joy outside the spotlight. Silence, once unfamiliar, became a restorative space where creativity and life could flourish without external pressure. A quiet return. When Eddie returned with deliberate projects, audiences welcomed him warmly. His work reflected depth, shaped by experience rather than youthful urgency. Appearances were intentional, and recognition was approached with grounded humility. The desire to dominate had faded, replaced by a focus on craft, connection, and enjoyment. His humor and storytelling carried the resonance of someone who had lived fully, learned deeply, and valued each moment on his own terms. Fatherhood as anchor. Today, Eddie Murphy regards his children as his greatest achievement. He participates in school events, celebrates milestones, and embraces routines that once felt impossible under the weight of fame. These ordinary, everyday moments provide fulfillment beyond accolades or box office numbers. Fatherhood anchors him, offering continuity, joy, and purpose that transcends professional accomplishments. The paradox of legacy. Eddie Murphy's influence on comedy and film is undeniable. His work continues to shape new generations, inspiring performers and audiences alike. Yet legacy is more than public recognition. It is also private reflection, emotional resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with dignity. Eddie's story reminds us that humor, even when celebrated worldwide, does not erase the complexity of human experience, but can illuminate it beautifully. The man beyond. The applause. Behind the laughter, Eddie Murphy remains a man of depth, shaped by love, creativity, resilience, and growth. Fame did not define him. It revealed him layer by layer. He demonstrates that personal fulfillment is found not in applause alone, but in the quiet, deliberate moments of life, the laughter shared with family, the joy in simple routines, and the satisfaction of knowing one has lived fully and authentically. A life still unfolding. At 64, Eddie Murphy's story is ongoing. It is defined by choice, by love, by reflection, and by the courage to live beyond expectation. His laughter once filled theaters, now it fills his home. This shift, from public spectacle to private joy, may be his most meaningful achievement of all. Through decades of triumphs, challenges, and quiet moments, Eddie Murphy continues to show that success is not only measured in fame or fortune, but in the ability to create joy, nurture connection, and live intentionally.